This year's Assassin's Creed title is located in 16th century Japan, characterized by intense civil unrest following the rise of Oda Nobunaga. You play through the game as two protagonists, Yasuke, a samurai, and Naoe, a shinobi, or more commonly known as a ninja. I've always been a big fan of the Assassin's Creed titles, primarily the games that featured Ezio Auditore. Assassin's Creed 2 was my first game, I then went back and played 1, and I've played pretty much every one since. Classic games to get 1000G on, or Platinum if you're playing on PlayStation. I've made full in-depth guides for every achievement, so if you're struggling with anything in particular, there'll be a link in the description to the YouTube playlist. AC Shadows has 54 achievements, so let's get started. Starting the game, we meet and play as Yasuke for the first time, where we picked up our first achievement, Adept Samurai, for performing our first finisher. After some cutscenes and some story setting, we eventually also meet our other protagonists, Naoe, and play with her for the first time. We unlocked Adept Shinobi for getting our first assassination, as well as Unseen for performing 5 assassinations in a row without being noticed or entering combat. This was our first experience of stealth, and I already knew I'd much prefer playing as Naoe for the more authentic AC experience. As with all story mode games, I like to focus on the main story first, just immerse myself in the game, and enjoy it for what it is. Picking up some achievements on the way by playing naturally, before going for any specific achievements, and going for that 1000G. Without any spoilers, you unlock a few achievements for reaching key milestones throughout the main story. These include achievements for completing the prologue, Act 1 of the main story, Act 2 of the main story, Act 3 of the main story, and the epilogue. Shortly after the prologue, we go on to meet Tamako, unlocking the hideout, which gets us the Soul Sanctum achievement. This will be our main base of operations for the game, and there are plenty of achievements to get here later. AC Shadows features a new scouting mechanic for finding missions, where your mission's location is not immediately revealed on the map. You will need to either get close to it in the game, or use scouts to search a larger area on the map. These are limited and reset every season, which cannot be skipped or fast-tracked throughout the game, and if you miss on the map and don't find your mission, you can just kind of be sat there with nothing to do for a while, apart from side missions. To be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of this mechanic, as the reason I and most enjoy playing Assassin's Creed games is to chill, follow along with the story, without too much difficulty or stress. The scouting system just adds unnecessary searching, as the amount of time you can use these is limited, so you end up putting a lot more mental energy than you perhaps want to when you just want to sit down, chill out and play a video game. Luckily, you can turn these off in the settings by enabling guided exploration, but before we do, we had to make sure we gathered information using a scout, unlocking the scouting mission achievement, as this is the only achievement you can't get by turning this off. You will get a warning when you try to turn guiding exploration on, and this is the reason for it. After unlocking the hideout, you will have the ability to meet allies throughout the world. These include meeting Yaya for the Warrior Monk achievement, meeting Ganojo for the Thief achievement, meeting Katsuhime for the Sharpshooter achievement, meeting Oni Yuri for the Toxin Master achievement, meeting Yagaro for the Eager Assassin achievement, and meeting Ibuki for the Ronin achievement. Each of these allies comes with a path of side missions, which you will need to complete in order to recruit them as an ally. Playing through one of these storylines, which we did for Ganojo, will unlock the Build Your League achievement. Once an ally has been recruited, they can be trained in the hideout, and fully training an ally got us the front of the pack achievement. The missions were laid out in an objective board, which allows us to keep track of our objectives. Various groups of enemies are tracked, and completing an entire circle unlocks the Mortal Reminder achievement. The main quest of the story is to defeat all of the Shinbakufu, and completing the circle on the objective board for the Shinbakufu unlocks the Death Blossom achievement. So Naoe was my favourite character to play with throughout the game, and there are a bunch of achievements you can get whilst playing as Naoe. Naoe has many abilities, one of which being a grappling hook, which you can use to climb buildings more quickly. We combine 2 of these together by swinging from one grappling hook point to another to unlock the Hook, Line and Swinger achievement. Another cool move you can do with the grappling hook is perform a leap of faith from the grappling hook, which unlocks the Acrobatics achievement. Another one of her cool abilities, which you can use to limit your damage when you're jumping off of buildings, is to perform a landing roll to reduce your damage. Once unlocked, performing this for the first time gets you the Sometimes achievement. The environment in this game is very authentic, particularly the buildings, which have these paper-thin sliding walls as doors, characteristic of 16th century Japan. This provides us with a cool assassination opportunity to penetrate the door with our sword and assassinate an unsuspecting enemy on the other side of the door. Doing this unlocks us the Master Shinobi achievement. One of my peeves with this game is that assassinations aren't always guaranteed like previous titles. I think that takes away a little bit from the stealth experience, as having guaranteed assassinations is part of the AC games. You can enable guaranteed assassinations in the settings, which is how I played most of the game once I realised you could do this. In particular though, I would highly recommend turning this on for the Giant Slayer achievement, where you need to assassinate a powerful guardian in one go. Otherwise, you'll have to rank up your abilities very high to be able to get this one. Another one of Naoe's cool abilities is to use a breathing reed underwater. This can be used in shallow water to escape conflicts, which got us the Reading is Fundamental achievement. As part of the stealth mechanic, you can also distract enemies with Shinobi bells. These are small bells that you can throw to distract an enemy and get them to walk somewhere so that you can sneak past. And taking the mick a little bit, we distracted the same enemy 3 times with these Shinobi bells, and this unlocked the Just Your Shadow achievement. Certain bits of equipment in the game have these abilities on, for example, poisoned or dazed. Striking an enemy with a weapon which has one of these abilities builds up a meter. For example, with poison, you would hit them a certain amount of times, the poison meter would build up, and then once it's built up, they would be poisoned for a short amount of time. Having a weapon with the poisoned ability and the dazed ability enabled us to perform a finisher on an enemy that was both poisoned and dazed, earning us the Overdesigned 3 achievement. Switching over to Yasuke, I didn't really play too much of the game with Yasuke, apart from when I needed to, as playing with this character didn't really feel like an Assassin's Creed game to me. But we did have a few achievements we needed to get as Yasuke, such as performing a Leap of Faith, which he absolutely butchered, the Leap of Fail achievement. I think this just shows how much of a non-traditional Assassin's Creed player Yasuke is. He's essentially a brute with great strength but very limited stealth and climbing ability. We also parried an incoming projectile for the Master Samurai achievement, kicked an enemy from a high place for the This Is Japan achievement, and shot an enemy in the knee with an arrow. We also used Samurai Stand before performing a finisher for the Unstoppable achievement, and sheathed our weapon immediately after an enemy dies from bleed, which is similar to the poison and dazed build-up traits for the Final Hearing achievement. Although not required, we did choose Yasuke for the tournament, as playing with Naoe makes this pretty much impossible, as she is so weak against powerful enemies in open combat. So to complete this, we played as Yasuke, which made it a breeze, and defeating all enemies earned us the Test Your Might achievement. Now going back to the hideout, there are many achievements you can unlock, such as looking for treasure behind the waterfall, even though there isn't any, for the Made You Look achievement. We can engrave our first weapon for the Make It Personal achievement, add a Sumi-E to the hideout for the Chase the Morning achievement, placing a pet into the hideout that we met along our travels, adopt that pet for the Everybody Benefits achievement. There are a few more achievements in the hideout, but these require resources. You can gather resources by completing missions, smuggling them out of enemy camps with scouts, or looting chests. These can be quite scarce and slow to acquire, but one thing that can be done to speed this up is completing contracts. These are simple side missions where you can choose a simple assassination mission, a looting mission, or to eliminate a group of enemies. The best one for gathering resources is the looting missions. We did these to gather resources, and by completing one contract in each province, we unlocked the Would You Kindly achievement. Back to the hideout. Now that we have enough resources, we fully upgraded a building for the Against Wood and Stone achievement. There are various skill trees for each character in the game, and to unlock skill points, which can be used to upgrade the various abilities, there are small side challenges to complete, which are scattered throughout the map. These include Kujikiri for Naoe, which is a meditation type minigame, Katas for Yasuke, which is a training minigame, Horse Archery for Yasuke, as well as Kofuns. Completing all the Kujikiri earned us the Zen Master achievement. Playing as Yasuke, we can complete the training side missions called Katas, and completing our first one got us the Good Form achievement. And finding one of the Kofuns to complete our first Kofun unlocked the Kofun Raider achievement. Going through and completing various versions of these gave us plenty of skill points to use. Completing the Shinobi skill tree for Naoe got us the Art of Ninjutsu achievement. Completing the Samurai skill tree for Yasuke got us the Art of Kenjutsu achievement. Fully upgrading our tools and ammunition got us the In Case of Trouble achievement, The landscape of this game is incredible, especially if you're playing in 4K. Most of the viewpoints are mountains, and reaching the highest point of the map got us the Happy Place achievement. In addition to this, visiting every province in the map got us the Pathfinder achievement. Finding a legendary piece of gear of each type earned us the Limitless achievement, which is indicated by the gold outline. Equipping a legendary gear in each slot earned us the Better Than a Bucket achievement. To fully upgrade our rations, which are the health regeneration tools in the game, we completed 3 quests. We completed the Iron Hand Guild questline and built the Sajiki in the hideout. We collected at least 3 tea bowls and then built the tea room in the hideout. And we found all 16 local dishes in the Feast for Thought quest. Completing all 3 of these earned us the Suit Yourself achievement and fully upgraded our rations. Completing the Feast for Thought quest specifically unlocked us the Collector achievement for completing a collection, as we collected 16 out of 16 local dishes. Having guided exploration on really comes in clutch here for all the collectibles. The last achievement we got, and one of the harder ones, was completing all 6 legendary Sumi-E, which earned us the Rare Occurrence achievement. These are paintings that you draw of animals by sneaking up to them, but for most of these legendary ones, they only spawn in certain seasons and certain times of day. As there is no way to skip time in game, I would highly recommend not doing what I did and leaving this one till last, where you're essentially just waiting for time to pass, so you can go and get the next legendary Sumi-E. And that wraps up the 1000G for Assassin's Creed Shadows, or the Platinum Trophy if you're on PlayStation. A very enjoyable 1000G, even if parts of it were a little bit of a grind, and there was quite a bit to do. If you're struggling with any achievement in particular, I'll link my YouTube playlist containing in-depth guides for every achievement below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for future 1000G or Platinum videos, as well as achievement and trophy guides. See you in the next one.